Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the United Stand. Welcome to the morning show. I'm going to be going over quotes from Ten Hag. I'm going to bring up some Rashford ones, a bit of Roy Keane. I'm going to get into a bit more detail after yesterday. It was a bit manic outside, doing all the fan vlogs after the game. Obviously, jubilant scenes as United make it 4 in a row. We're actually fighting for the title again, aren't we, everyone? That's where we're at. Settle down. I made that point very clear yesterday. We do need to know and stay in our lane, unlike some clubs who think they're already making it on the way back. We'll get into more detail about what everyone was saying outside the grounds. Now we've got a bit more time. What's been said, like I said, mainly 10 hard quotes I want to get into first of all this morning, and then mix them in, bring them up with some other people's opinions from outside the game yesterday. Hello to everyone in the chat. Get your comments in on everything we get talking about today, and obviously I'll try and bring up as many of your comments as possible as we go through. So, I mean, what can we say? It was a happy day, wasn't it? It's a happy morning. Not many Monday mornings we wake up as United fans over the last few years feeling like this. Yesterday had that feeling of importance before the game, and then after the game, just like a sense of we actually are a team again. That's what it felt like yesterday. It felt like Manchester United. No, I wouldn't say back. They're not back. 4 games in a row is brilliant, and it's good to see the progression. But we're just going to call it. I'm just going to call it. I mean, some people think, and some people came out to me yesterday and said, "We're back. We're fighting for the title." It's not. It's no way near that. It's good to see progression, and it's good to see that we actually have got a togetherness in the team, and we've actually got a style of play. And yeah, it's not pretty at the moment, but that's why I want to get into Ten Hag's quotes this morning and talk about what he said, because his acceptance of where we are as a club, the realistic look that Ten Hag is putting across right now, is what I want to get into and what's important for us all. Because Ten Hag, first of all, going into it, he's saying, when talking about the game afterwards, he says, "We are happy, we are satisfied with the win and the performance against a really good team in Arsenal." He bigged up Arsenal in a way before the game, saying how organised they were. He's talking up, being positive about Mikel Arteta. And to be honest, the top of the league. They'd won 5 games in a row. Yeah, like I brought up yesterday, and the emotion of the game sort of turned me into sort of fan mode yesterday a little bit. I wasn't drunk, by the way, anyone. So what you were going on about in my fan vlog, I don't know. I think I was just excited a little bit. I didn't have one drink yesterday. So where you got that from, I do not know. But you got to give me the chance to be a little bit excited, surely. And just to hear the Arsenal fans moaning on the other side of the car park across on facing the east stand, it was a happy day. It was a happy afternoon, and I woke up just as happy this morning regarding football matters, knowing that Manchester United have put Arsenal back in their place, well and truly. And I like the way that Ten Hag's talking about it. He's not getting carried away. He's not going over the top, but he's being realistic with everything and keeping everyone's feet firmly on the floor, especially the players. I'm going to go through quite a few of Ten Hag's quotes this morning, so just bear with me as I get through them. Next one I'm going to bring up was this team can deal with setbacks, and that is great. I think that's really important in terms of what he said there, because yesterday, so I'm just going to read the rest of that one out. That is great. We have really improved on that. We have the right characters. Now get the reliance in, get the belief there is still room for improvement. That's that quote broken down from Ten Hag being asked yesterday about the mentality of the team again. And I've talked about this a lot. And what he says there, it's like when he says we've got the right players and we can deal with setbacks, that's more important than anything. That's more important than anything. It's like we all wanted to see yesterday what happens. Well, this good little resurgence has been on 3 games in a row before that, but we'd not been behind, or no one had equalised against us, and the tempo of the game was going towards Arsenal when they got that equaliser. But all it did was it just sort of like solidified Manchester United, and it just put us in a place where it's like, right, okay, little setback. Let's not do what we have done the last 2 seasons, and revert to type, start to cower, start to whimper away back, drop off, and think that this is it, and heads drop. It didn't happen yesterday. The crowd were upbeat when the goal went in. They still got behind the players, and the players reacted to it. It is vital that the connection between the fans and the players stays the way it is right now, because that's what's going to carry this team. Ten Hag has made a big point about it, and you'll see it in more of the quotes that I actually bring up, because he's, like I said, keeping everyone's feet firmly on the floor, not getting carried away with it. 4 wins in a row, it looks fantastic on paper, and you can be forgiven for getting a little bit carried away. There's a super chat in there from Glenn who says, Adam, not to put a downer on things, but there's rumours that that total ass Lewis Hamilton is up for buying into United. Look, consortiums are consortiums, and the powers that be will be. There's powers that are completely out of our hands when it comes to the takeover of Manchester United. Zayn Miassi with a super chat. Arteta out. I love the banter, Zayn. I was waiting. I actually credit to you for coming on and talking to us first thing in the morning. Cheers for that, Zayn. I'm sure he's not Arteta out though. But yeah, in terms of the first super chat there, the powers that be and what happens with takeovers is completely out of our hands. All you need at the spearhead of it is a man who knows what he's doing, and that's what we've got in Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So the more we push on that, and the more the fans, and it was Norden who came on yesterday on the fan vlog who said it, every single goal that went in, we cheered it, but there was still a Glazer out chance. It's still Glazer out. The fans are united in all of what's going on right now, and that's what's important. It feels like we have a fan base which is together. There's no divide. Doesn't matter who you are, what sort of opinion you've got. Right now, I'm feeling it. I'm outside every game, and I can feel it in the fan base. I felt it when it was bad. I felt it when it was going the wrong way, but it doesn't feel like that at all at the moment. It feels like we actually are together, and that's the most important thing with the fans. I'm going to roll through these super chats while I'm on them, actually. David Harris, United fans are getting excited today. Well, my Man United top around town and got lots of high fives and comments. That's what I mean. That's like that vibe that's come back again. That's exactly what I mean. It feels like United are actually together. It feels united, pardon the pun. But that is how the fan base felt yesterday, going in and coming out of the stadium. They felt a confidence going in there and a confidence coming out that we can continue going forward after what we'd watched on the pitch. And that's what's good and that's what's needed and what we haven't had for a very long time. Another chat, super chat from Mashik says, Adam, who do you think is faster, young Ronaldo or Rashford? And you think Ronaldo will soon start games? I do believe he's going to start games. Europa League, again, I'll bring up a quote from Ten Hag soon on that one, but we are going to be stretched in terms of squad depth now that it's Thursday, Sunday football all the way to the World Cup. So I think Ronaldo will get more game time. In terms of speed, I've seen pace, but Rashford's pace when he gets going is quite frightening. I would say he wins in a 100-meter sprint, Ronaldo prime, and Rashford right now. I think one thing Rashford has got is pace, and I would say Rashford probably tips it. Zayn says he's only joking. You might have won the battle, but not the war. We are still top of the league. Yes, you are, Zayn. Yes, you are. And we did win the battle yesterday because that's what it came down to. Arsenal were prettier and looked decent on the ball, but United battled harder, and that's how we won the game. Moving on, let's get into some more quotes from Ten Hag. You can see Arsenal's routines are there, but our team spirit brings us the win. When we got beaten in the press, we fought back and we were good in transition. Again, exactly how I saw it yesterday. I said it then. Arsenal were the more accomplished team in terms of in possession. And I've listened to some of the Arsenal fans going on. We've created so many chances. I want to get into that a little bit now. I'm like, so many chances. Okay, I'm thinking, yeah, Saliba skied that one in the first half. I'm thinking the one from Odegaard in the second half where he completely squiffs it across the box. How he does that, I do not know. Xhaka was dangerous with some, but I'll say United created 3 chances and put 3 away. I'll then go across to Christian Eriksen's miss. I'll then go across to the great save that Ramsdale made from Bruno after we got the ball back from Ramsdale's kick out. I'll then bring in the ball across from Fred, which wasn't good enough for Ronaldo. It should have been better. And let's not forget McTominay losing where the ball was when he went clean through in the 6-yard box. So in terms of Arsenal fans saying chances created yesterday and they outplayed United, no, let's settle back down again. Like I said yesterday, fact is, you can talk about chances created. We hit the target double the amount of times that you did. It's about being clinical. And your so-called brilliant Brazilian, Jesus, was nowhere to be seen yesterday. Yes, he battled hard and he made it tough. But like I said on the fan vlog yesterday, he had his first game of the season yesterday and he failed. Simple as. Moving on. A super chat from Michaela Roach. Morning, Adam. Any truth in the Glazers' set price of 3.75 billion? I don't see that being the price. I think the Glazers want more. Look at what Chelsea went for, close to 4 billion. I was on TalkSport and Simon Jordan was talking about this. If Chelsea are 4 billion, United are going to be 7. There's no way that that's United's price. Anyone who thinks that United are going to be sold for that, I think wishful. That's all I will say. I don't think United will go anywhere near that price. I would say double that, and that's what the Glazers will accept. The going market price for United, if Chelsea's worth more than that, how can Chelsea be worth more than United? Nah, that's why I would say that report, don't look too much into it. I still think there is truth in things that are going on, possibility of United being sold, but it won't be for that price. Guaranteed it won't be for that price. Ten Hag, when asked about Antony and Rashford, both played great and we're a continued threat. Our offense is strong and very creative. It is great to see pretty much what I just said there. United were clinical yesterday. Very, very clinical. Every chance that we created, we pretty much hit the target. There was a few chances we had early doors in the first half that we just didn't have the final ball for. We got in great positions, poor final ball. But when we got that final ball, right, it's like when Dello crossed the ball for Eriksen. Eriksen knew he should have done better with that volley. Fred knew he should have put that ball across better for Ronaldo. You can see Ronaldo's reaction for it. It could have been so much worse for Arsenal. And I'm listening to what they're saying, and I'm listening to I'm feeling disappointed today in the result. And I think we were the better team. Yeah, let's be honest here. If you say better team is passing the ball around and creating nothing, then fair enough. You stick with that. But honestly, in terms of real chances created, United did more. You could argue Arsenal created some decent half chances, but De Gea didn't have a save to make. So, yeah, being pretty on the edge of the box and nice passing movements counts for absolutely nothing when you're getting beat 3-1 because you couldn't hit a proverbial with a banjo. You know, it's it's what it is. Stop sulking. Get on with it, like Roy Keane said. Excuses. Sole loser. Yeah. Came up against a team that wanted it more and was willing to fight. First time this season. And you failed. Simple. Moving on again. So I keep going back to Arsenal fans. It's like you'd think that I wanted to be rubbing it in this morning a little bit, wouldn't you? But yeah, I don't know. Let's move on. Let's move on quickly to more Ten Hags. The spirit in the team, they can deal with setbacks. So we did. It is really great. That shows the mentality we have to improve on that. That was the BBC reporting on that one. The mentality again. Ten Hag going deep on this and has been an advocate of the mentality side of things. He said it straight away. Pre-season, he was on about it. He's still on about it now. And the best thing about Ten Hag and what he's been saying is, you know what it's like? We know where we are. We know what lane we're in. We're not getting carried away. There's a lot more to improve on, an awful lot more to improve on. And that's what's important with this. Accept the wins. We are improving. But Ten Hag wants to control the game more. He wants to have 60, 70% possession. That's the end goal. I said it when we beat Liverpool. It was a case of, right, let's show that we are willing to put more effort in. Let's show that we're willing to put more yards in and compete with a team we know are better than us. And it's hard to say that, but in the cold light of day, you have to admit that Liverpool are a better team. So are we willing to accept that on our own turf and work harder? Yes, we did. We earned that win. We deserved that win. Every Liverpool fan has said exactly the same thing. Then you move across to the games that we would lose or draw last season, Southampton and Leicester, and you look at them games and you go, not pretty. But we tried to play Ten Hag ball against Brighton and against Brentford, and we had our asses handed to us, basically. So he's looked back at that. He's taken it on board and realised that this team is not good enough yet to play that type of football. So we have to sort of go back and revert to a bit of basic football, which is defending as a team, which he's bigged up over the last 2 games against Southampton and Leicester. 2 clean sheets away from home in the Premier League is nigh on impossible at the moment. Look at the team. Look at City. Look at Liverpool, Chelsea, all the big guns, all the top 4 from last season. Look at their record away from home. You don't keep clean sheets in the Premier League. We found that out against Brentford. It is impossible. The forward lines in the Premier League definitely are better than the defences across the board. And you have to accept sometimes that there's better forwards out there than there is defenders. You can set up as best you can, but you are going to concede goals. It's as simple as that. United to get 2 clean sheets. Yeah, you could say Southampton, Leicester aren't great, but you know what I mean? Leicester went and scored 2 against Brighton yesterday. Southampton beat Chelsea. And we all know how much money Chelsea have spent on their aspirations for the season. So that result against Southampton was put clear in light when United managed to get a clean sheet and Chelsea went the week after and pretty much got battered by Southampton at stages, and they deserve their win. So that's what Ten Hag has done. He's accepted that we can't play that now. We're going to have to build this team up properly. We're going to have to try and make players better where we can, like McTominay, who is playing better now. And we're going to have to bring in players like Fred, like Alanga. It's going to be Rashford or Martial or Anthony, whoever's playing off the bench. They're just going to have to come on and be better. Super chat in from Nick P says, is there something in the Sky Sports contracts that says you cannot criticise an England captain in a World Cup year? Gary seemed baffled at the turnaround. I'd seen that, and I'm talking about Gary Neville's comments to Roy Keane when he said, I've never seen you so confident. Do you need to go back and recheck that? I think Gary Neville just covering himself, basically. He's seen what we've all seen over the last couple of years. And there's that old phrase, isn't there, the old saying, a leopard never changes its spots. And this team could capitulate at any moment. It's about, like I just said, grafting out. And what Gary Neville said, what Ten Hag said, it's like bit by bit, we need to improve. We know where we are. We know how good we are. And we know where we need to improve. And that's what he's building on now. He accepted straight away. He came into United. He probably thought, like most managers, Solskjaer, Ralph Rangnick, Jose Mourinho, all the managers in the past, that this is Manchester United. All I know of this is Sir Alex Ferguson glory years. These players must be great. Well, no, the mismanagement of this football club from top to bottom has put us where we are now. And Ten Hag's the first manager to realise so quickly that this isn't a Manchester United team with great players of yesteryear, and this is how Manchester United are going to be. We're going to be challenging constantly all the time with the squad that we've got. It's not going to be like that. We're going to have to make Manchester United great again. It's like the other managers came in. Ralph Rangnick noticed it straight away. He said this team needs open heart surgery. Ten Hag has changed over half of the playing team. The first team has changed. I think half of the playing staff pretty much have changed. Now, we've got players in that are better than what we've got, or he's improved players that were there before and given them a chance to say, are you willing to go back to basics and work hard for me? And that's what a lot of these players are doing. Super chat from Mojo. Adam, given the type of players we have, isn't it better to be okay with 40% possession and winning rather than have 70% possession and then our players have a problem breaking down the low block? Oh, there is for that reason, and where we're at right now, it is worth playing that way because look how effective it is. It took us from bottom on -5 goal difference to 5th, 3 points off the top, level goal difference, the way we're playing right now. And yeah, them players that we've got. So if Ten Hag cannot, and with Ten Hag here isn't talking about getting this done in a few months. He's talking about the bigger picture. He's talking about in maybe a year, 2 years' time, this team will have an identity and will be able to play that way. It's not just going to be straightforward. It's going to happen this season. I think we will see elements of Ten Hag football this season. I don't think it will be polished and completely set, where we're going to see it week in, week out. It's going to have to chop and change. Here we go. But right now, he's found a way for United, and a lot of people are brandishing us counter-attacking team, counter-attacking Manchester United. But what they're not adding to that is combative, battle-hardened Manchester United who put in more yards and actually graft as a team and defensively work as a team. It's all right saying counter-attacking football. That was pretty much Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But we didn't have the steal. Look at the amount of goals that we conceded. And yeah, we shipped 4 against Brentford, I know. But look, since then, since we've changed to this style, we conceded 2 goals in 4 games and don't look like conceding many goals. De Gea has been, apart from the odd save here and there in games, has had his feet up pretty much. We have been in control defensively so far. And it starts, you build from the back. And like he says, unlike what people are saying, yeah, it may look like counter-attacking football, but there's a bit more to it than that. There's that robustness, like I said, that work rate is different. And United are earning their wins. They're grafting them out the hard way. And we've got players that if we keep playing this way, we'll get more and more confident, like Rashford, like Sancho, like Bruno Fernandes. We're seeing changes in all of these players this season. In the last 4 games, you cannot argue that Bruno's game, Rashford's game, and Sancho's game, especially them three culprits of poor football last season and real letdowns, have been better. Now, straight away, that's a sign for me that Ten Hag is getting across to these players, and I think he's more important than anything. Super chat from Christopher. Arsenal's Invincibles, August 2022 video coming soon. I like that one, mate. Pin that one. I like it. Just going to rub it in when we can. We'll have a little rubbing day with Arsenal, and then we'll get back to business. Europa League on Thursday nights. We know where we belong. We know we belong. We can still do things better with pressing. We had a good plan, but the incoming from Zinchenko, for instance, that gives them over numbering in midfield. We can be more composed on the ball. Don't give away chances. Don't give away the ball, is what Ten Hag's saying. In terms of how Arsenal were playing yesterday, Zinchenko moving into that midfield role was a very smart tactical move from Arteta. It was very, very noticeable that overload in midfield, and Zinchenko was good yesterday. I thought he was very good. Him and Xhaka, I think, were Arsenal's best players personally. But that overload and Ten Hag noticing it and then realising, I think that's when the likes of Fred started to come on. And that's when I think the game turned, personally. I think we solidified. We got the goal, yes, on the break just before Fred came on. But Fred coming on pretty much ended Arsenal's game because Ten Hag realised what Arteta was doing. And that's what we've got with Ten Hag. We've got plan B. We've got someone who can react to things in game. We've not had that since Alex Ferguson. I'm sorry. Yeah, Jose Mourinho did it in his way, but obviously there's the Jose way, which in the end right now for the Premier League isn't probably a way for anybody. Tottenham found that out. We found that out. Chelsea found that out again. Mourinho does belong in the Italian league, I think, but Ten Hag right now for us realises that, seen that, and we've got that in a manager now, which gives me more confidence going forward because if he can see what's happening tactically in a game and knows how to tweak it and affect the game, and he's got players on the bench that can actually accomplish that and do that for him, then bang, there you go. That's what we want. And that's why I'm confident more than ever going forward that as long as the players get on board with Ten Hag's vision, then we will be absolutely fine. We may not be hitting the heavy heights for a couple of years yet, but we're definitely on the right track for it. And that's what's important. And that's what every United fan wanted in this Ten Hag era. We wanted to see progression, a style of play coming across more from the players. I think we're starting to see that in these last 4 games now. Super chat from James J. Cheers for the super chat, mate. Maguire was brought on and got the captain's armband, but Bruno was still on the pitch. ? Amazing win, though. So nice to be enjoying games again. Definitely on that. But I actually didn't notice the captain's armband bit. I mean, there's the club captain sort of side of things that whenever the captain comes on, he changes the armband over. I didn't even notice that. I was just happy with what was going on. But if that did happen, well spotted. I don't know if anyone else seen that, but I didn't personally. I was just looking at actually keeping Arsenal out and seeing out the game at 3-1. And it was funny how he came on and Casemiro basically threw him a suicide by losing the ball. And first thing Maguire did was take the yellow, brutally bringing down the Arsenal player. So, yeah, I did have a little bit of a giggle about that one. Welcome back, Harry. Yellow card in like 2 minutes. Lovely. News on Dubai's rumoured purchase of Manchester United. That's from Eduardo Super Chats. His room, well, like I said a minute ago, if he wasn't tuned in, 3.75 billion for Manchester United. No, that's not happening, everybody. Double that, and that's probably what United will go for. Chelsea went for 4 billion. Just use that as your comparison. And the Glazers, knowing what the Glazers are like, you think they're going to sell for 3.75? That is not happening. Not in a million years. I'm telling you right now, you can clip me up saying that. If we get sold for that, then I will gladly forfeit or do any sort of forfeit for it. But there's no way the Glazers are selling for that amount of money. A couple more from Ten Hag before we move on a little bit. When we get beat in the press, we fought back and recovered, especially in transitions. We are good. I've already picked up that one. Just a couple of quotes from different sources. Sky again with another one now. I think we have all seen what threat Anthony is. His speed and creativity, I think, can be a real threat in the Premier League. I think Anthony went down a storm yesterday. I think his celebration is going to endear himself to the United faithful straight away, scoring against Arsenal. I mean, if there was a Carlsberg debut, Anthony pretty much had it yesterday, didn't he? He did look a threat. He looks vicious, doesn't he? He looks like he's got a bit of bite about his game as well. I mean, there was one tackle there he completely missed, but if he connected, there was a definite yellow. So we may have to rein in the sort of the temper side of things and his attitude, but that will come. But isn't it good having players on the pitch that actually want to fight and get stuck in? You've got Martinez then moving in to the likes of Scott McTominay in midfield and Casemiro when he comes on. Obviously, you've got the flair of Varane and just a Rolls Royce at the back next to that bite of Martinez. Malacia looks like he'll run through brick walls. Absolutely brilliant. And you bring in Anthony and he's got even more South American bite. That South American grit and determination is there for everybody to see right now. And Ten Hag bigging up Anthony is one good thing. I think he knows his game. And for him to settle in so quickly, now we can look to move him on and he can sort of transition him in and out of games now. I don't know if you'll give him more game time against Sociedad on Thursday. That'll be interesting to find out if he does go down that road. But it's all good. The vibe that you're getting from Ten Hag out of all of this, though, is that he's happy. He's impressed with how we've improved from the first two games, but he wants more. He wants more from this team and knows he can get more from this team. And that's what's important in all of this. The fact that he knows what lane he's in. He knows where we are as a team right now and what we can accomplish. And he knows that we can get more and get better out of this team. Everything and every single comment. And I kept going on about this. He won't go into individuals. Yes, he talked about Anthony because he had a direct question straight after a game and he can comment on that. But guarantee you, when his next press conference comes along, he will divert any sort of individual rating or performance or breakdown of a player and move it across to a whole team breakdown in terms of it's about what happens as a team, not just one individual, and nothing all collectively about the team and the build up and how they work. It'll be 1, 2, or 3 players combined together and how they work together, or it will be defensively as a team or attacking as a team. That's how he breaks it down. Never drawn on one particular player, and that's what's important. He's bringing everyone together. And look at the performances of the players. I said this, and many people did on the fan vlogs yesterday. When the subs come on, they're playing at exactly the same tempo as what the team that started the game are. And that's what we've not had in this team for a very, very long time. You can see players coming off the bench and they're coming on. It's like Danny van der Beek, for instance. He'll come on and be like, yeah, this is good. But deep down, he knows that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was just going to drop him for the next game. It's like if you come on and have a performance for Manchester United, then straight away you're in the manager's mindset for the next game. He's already said it's a squad. It's not a team. It's a squad. Everyone will play their part. And Fred was impressive for me when he came on yesterday. Apart from that ball, which he should have got right for Ronaldo. But Ronaldo coming on is a threat off the bench at the moment. I think Ronaldo is getting closer and closer. And there was a super chat who came up before. Do you think Ronaldo's close to starting games? I think he is. I actually think he'll start against Sociedad. We could actually have Casemiro, Anthony, and Ronaldo all starting the game against Sociedad on Thursday night. They could be starting the game. That shows you how strong the squad is and how well they are playing. You could have a back four of Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, and Wan-Bissaka, Solskjaer's back four. You could have Dubravka in goal, 5 changes. Midfield, you could have Fred, you could have Casemiro, you could have Danny van der Beek if he's fit. There's your 3. And then forward line, you could have Ronaldo, you could have Elanga, you could even have Anthony, who needs a bit more game time and match sharpness. Wow. That's pretty much 10 changes to a starting lineup and still feel confident that you're going to get the win. That's the difference. Whether or not it will be as cohesive, whether or not it'll be as fluid like it has been, but he seems to be training a squad in exactly the same way. So if you come in and play well against Sociedad and you've been on the peripheral of the first team for the Premier League games, then you're going out there trying to prove a point. And that's what I think is important and how Ten Hag's trying to get it across. He's talking about needing more. He wants more from these players as well that are going to play on Thursday night when we change things up, so they can show him that they want to be in that first team come the Premier League big games. They think that they should be in there, then show it. That's what's coming across from Ten Hag. And I think that ultimately will be why we actually improved this season, because we've got a squad and not just the first team. And I think he will reward good performances. There's loads more to go into with Ten Hag and everything like that. I just want to touch on Marcus Rashford a little bit and bring up a couple of Rashford's quotes because he came in for some criticism mid-game yesterday. The guy in front of me was going on about Rashford, saying he's not a striker. He's not a striker. I totally agree with that. But as soon as you put Rashford out on the left-hand side, it happened against Liverpool. He was a threat and it was a great assist. The old Rashford would have just hit that first time in the first half instead of just feeding it through to Antony. And you know what? That there, I think, is a big moment for Marcus Rashford, because he had that moment there where he could have done the old Rashford, like I said, but he slipped it in, playing for the team. And then he got his rewards later on in the game when Eriksen did him exactly the same favour, because he got into his position. He thought, you know what? Playing as a team, everyone is confident. If I slip that ball into Antony and we go 1-0 up, then the team starts to build confidence and we can actually, you know what, we can actually move forward in the game and progress through the game. And that's what's important. That's what he needs to learn. It's like, yeah, it's not about the headlines for you. If you've made that assist for Antony, Ten Hag will see that. If you've made that assist for Antony, then we're 1-0 up against Arsenal. Arsenal's game changes and plays into your hands because they start to push forward more, and then you can use your pace on the break. Second half, there you go. Exactly what happened for Marcus Rashford. A couple of quotes from Rashford. I thought it was an even game. Very true. There were big spaces in the first half, but we didn't manage to exploit them. I agree totally with that one. We did waste the ball. Like I said, the final third pass wasn't quite there for us, I don't think. But in the second half, we managed to exploit the spaces, and that's what made the difference. I didn't even read that quote. I'm going to say it now. You could say what I just said before that about Rashford and how he played the ball and then made the space because Arsenal were pushing on, and it came to his advantage in the second half. That was his quote to Sky after the game. I didn't read that before I said what I said, but it's quite clear that is what's going on. It's quite clear that Ten Hag is evolving players. He's making them think more for the team rather than their individuals. You could see it in last season especially. Players under pressure were thinking for themselves. They're thinking, right, if I do well, then that spotlight's going to be off me, rather than if the team does well, it's going to be better for all of us. They were all thinking for themselves. It was very selfish last season. Bruno Fernandes was part of that. Rashford, Sancho to a certain degree. McTominay was hiding last season, in my opinion. Now, all of a sudden, you've got a manager who's coaching them differently and getting into their heads and making a mentality change. And that is more obvious than anything. And now look at them. You're getting McTominay hitting 3 decent games in a row. First time I can say that ever. Marcus Rashford, leading goal scorer, 3 goals in 6, scoring in big games, important winning goals against Liverpool and Arsenal, who are both touted to be finishing ahead of us this season. Big moments in big games. That's massive for Rashford. And you can just see it within all of them. There's more. There's more coming from every single player. And Rashford shows that more than anyone. And he was poor in stages yesterday. I'm not going to say he was great all the way through. I'm not giving him man of the match. He will get the plaudits. But at the end of the day, he finished well for 2 goals. He was in the right position for all 3 goals, involved in all of them. He played a massive part in United winning yesterday, and you have to give him credit. He does need to get better if he wants to stay as number 9. I don't think his days are as a number 9. I keep saying this. From the left, no wonder that's where he prevailed yesterday and where he was at his best, because coming in from the left, he can time that run better, and he just moves into the position rather than starting centrally. He looks a bit lost, can't hold the ball up, doesn't link up play as well, I don't think, although he did have the odd moment yesterday where he did well in that. But coming from the left is definitely Rashford's best position. Going to be really interesting when Martial comes fit again, because that's where I feel the big decision is going to come from Ten Hag, because Antony set off like a steam train. Rashford's in form. Sancho's in form. One of them has to drop out, and you've got Ronaldo, of course, as well. So them 5 are our main strikers, our main forwards, such. How he manages to interchange them, I think, will be a big, big task for Ten Hag, especially with the Ronaldo factor. Ronaldo's not going to want to sit on the bench constantly. So for me, that's where Ten Hag's biggest challenge will come. It's a massive game against Arsenal. They've had such a good start to the season, and it was a big test for us today, says Marcus Rashford. It was a test for both. It was a test for both teams yesterday. We said this. I said at the start of this show, and I said it in my build-up, in my preview, my road trip video, that going into this game felt like a late 90s, early 2000s Arsenal against United. It felt like there was more on it. Last couple of seasons, it's been the joke game. The old rivals, the old 2 best teams in the Premier League fighting for 5th and 6th and Europa League. The Europa League playoff, they used to call it. Yesterday felt totally different. It felt like we was going back in time yesterday. There was bite. There was tactics. It was talking about football, and it wasn't a laughing stock. The rest of the league were looking at Manchester United and Arsenal yesterday and going, we really need to see what happens in this game, because these two are going to play a big part in the season going ahead. To tell you what, Chelsea and Liverpool fans especially would have been watching that yesterday, as well as City, obviously, and Spurs, rivalries and everything like that. So you could say the other 4 teams from the top 6 were definitely watching that game yesterday. They were looking at it with big interest rather than looking at it going, oh, I wonder what's going to happen in this today. They actually looked at that, and I'm guessing the other managers from them teams as well would have been watching that game yesterday and going, this is actually an important game for everyone. We need to see how United's turnaround is going to carry on. We need to see exactly what Arsenal are made of in their first big game of the season, because no disrespect, Palace was a good result for Arsenal at the start of the season, but Bournemouth, Fulham, Leicester, these sort of games, I mean, no real big tests. This was their first big game, and they failed. United prevailed. So whether or not that affects Arsenal going forward, we'll see. They've got to bounce back from that now. This is their first test. I think United have had their big test in where we started the season. And it was a big statement for United over them 4 games that we've just won. Actually take down Liverpool and Arsenal within the space of 3 weeks at Old Trafford and deserve the win. That's a big statement from United and a massive change from last season. I had to bring up Roy Keane before we finish the show, because Roy Keane, when I watched it back later, he was just like perfect Roy Keane for an Arsenal game. And I think Merson just looked lost on that panel, to be honest. But he did his own, Merson. He held his own for Arsenal for what he did. But I think Roy Keane pretty much won that battle. Transfer market's over, so there's no hassle about Ronaldo leaving. They're just getting on with it. It's very good, said Roy Keane. Straightforward Roy Keane talking. Exactly what you'd expect from him. It's like there's no noises from the outside now. Ronaldo's staying. It's all about the football now, and how Ten Hag manages this Manchester United team. Roy Keane pretty much nailed it in his analysis in that. You look at the table now, and all of a sudden, everyone's feeling better about themselves. United beat Liverpool a few weeks ago, and we said, can they back it up? And that's what they've done today against Arsenal. Exactly. That's it. It's like I said, it's a big statement winning against Arsenal and Liverpool within the space of a month. Yes, they're at Old Trafford. You'd expect United to win games at Old Trafford. It's like Ferguson, always win the games at Old Trafford against your rivals and don't lose anything away from home. It's exactly what we've done. We've already got one up on Liverpool and Arsenal this season. Yeah, it may be different at Anfield and the Emirates, but you know what? We've given ourselves a chance. We've actually won the game that we're expected to win, whereas last season it was just hit and hope. Now you can see a plan going into these games, and I think that's what's important for us. One last one from Roy Keane. It's another big statement. This is what you want Manchester United to do. Pretty much what I just said then. Statement beating Liverpool, statement beating Arsenal, and actually earning them wins more than anything. Going to be very interesting now, because United have got big games coming up. Palace away, I think, is probably one of the toughest. Going to Palace after a Europa League game in midweek, it doesn't get harder than that. We notoriously always struggle against Palace at Selhurst Park. It's always a tough game, and they are playing well. The table I think lies a little bit right now with Palace. They've been unlucky and they've played pretty much everyone. I mean, they've played City, they've played Arsenal, they've played Liverpool. They've had a very tough start, and now they've got us, obviously, on Sunday as well. So Palace is a tough game. We've got Leeds after that, and then City after that, with Europa League games in between all of them. Now, that is where it gets tasty. That's where I think after them games, when we get to City, we're 3 games into the Europa League by that stage as well. Then we can really start assessing how we can move forward this season, because you'd expect United to have 3 wins in the Europa League. I would be unhappy if we weren't at 9 points and pretty much already comfortably through. It's important that we win our games in the Europa League and finish top of that group, because a rule that was put in last season in the Europa League, if Manchester United, if any team, not just United, if any team who wins their group won't have to play in the round of 32. So that's a big bonus. So if you're going right into the last 16 in the Europa League, it's 2 games less this season. So it's important that you win your group. Group winners missed the round of 32 in the Europa League. So I think United need to take Europa League seriously, win the first 3 games, maybe 4, get group qualification in the bag, move forward, concentrate on the league. But I think them 3 games mixed with Palace, Leeds, and City, tough games. I think we'll know after that. That will be 9 games into a season, into October. They always say judge the league table when you get to October. I think we'll know then exactly what aspirations we can have for the season. Will we be challenging for top 4? I think right now how tight it is. You can see there the league table up on your screen. 12 points, 4 wins in a row, 3 points off Arsenal. City tucked in tight there. City dropping points, Tottenham dropping points. No one looks fantastic, did they? No one's. I mean, Arsenal had the start they did, but everyone knew that them games, no disrespect to them, it was a kind start to Arsenal's fixtures. City struggled, like I said, against Newcastle. They struggled against Aston Villa away from home. Teams are going to take points off everyone this season. They really are. I think West Ham were unlucky not to get a draw against Chelsea. The VAR decision there was an absolute joke. And it's going to be one of them seasons. I said this in my vlog yesterday as well. It was like, you got no way of predicting how anything is going to turn up this season. City have shown now 6 games in. I think City will still win the league. I think they have got more than anyone. The interesting one is Liverpool for me in terms of how they actually go forward from here. Dropping points left, right, and centre. And Everton were unlucky in that game. I mean, Liverpool hit the woodwork a few times, but Everton were unlucky. Chelsea look a mess. They really do. I wouldn't be surprised if Ten Hag was up there in terms of managers out. If it doesn't improve for them soon, then I think that ownership model might start getting a bit twitchy. I expect them to come back and start hitting a little bit of form, though. I think the big teams now, you look at it, top 7 with Brighton squeezed in there between the top 6. The top 6 already pretty much taking shape. That's exactly how it's going to be. Just which 2 teams miss out on Champions League, that is impossible to predict right now. And it bodes for a really exciting season. But guys, that's pretty much it. That wraps up the show. Cheers for joining us this morning. Thanks for all the comments and the super chats. You've been on point. Enjoying the morning, enjoying the Monday after beating Arsenal on the Sunday. It's always a good day. Sun, not quite out. It's a little bit overcast, but it doesn't matter. We beat Arsenal yesterday, and that was joyous enough and enough for me to go into this week in confident mood going forward. Europa League, then Palace. Big week ahead for United, like I said. But cheers for watching, everyone. Absolutely brilliant this morning. Great comments, like I said. Like, share, and subscribe to the United Stand. We're on the road to 1.5 million subscribers. Get onto that subscribe button and click share the video. Obviously, smash the like I said, guys. We are out of here. Have a great week. I will see you through the week for another video, I'm sure. But if not, I'll see you outside Old Trafford for Sociedad.